Okay, here we go. All right. Thanks for holding the camera.
Sure. Yeah, put me to work right away. Why don't you?
You haven't had this yet. So I'm with Mark Saltbite. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a difficult name to pronounce.
It is. It's very rare to get it right.
If you look at the letters of your last name, you want to read it differently.
Salt Viet, everyone wants to say. Or they go Salt Viet, which I don't even get. It's not right. I don't think I look Vietnamese.
No. So, Mark is now, you just claimed the title of the world champion.
Yeah, the first one. Palindrome.
Palindrome.
Won the first world palindrome championship in Brooklyn.
What does that,
well, have you ever seen Iron Chef?
What's the actual title of that thing? Yeah, I've seen Iron Chef.
So it's like Iron Chef. This one, it's a live competition. So we had 75 minutes. And Will Short, who some people know as the New York Times crossword puzzle guy.
He does a lot of puzzles.
And NPR, yeah. He's good at that. He gave us all like three... Oh, okay, good. I'm already messing up the camera work.
Yeah, you are.
He gave us 3 constraints, and you could pick one of the constraints and write up to 3 palindromes. Each palindrome had to fit a constraint.
Okay.
And we had 75 minutes, so it was very time pressure. We're all in a room together, staring each other down, playing mind games.
And what are your weapons? You get like a pencil and some paper, or what?
Pretty much anything you want. No, you're welcome to use computers. 2 of the guys, I think, were using computers to generate them.
Where's the fun in that?
Well, you know, you can't rely on the computer because computers just aren't that clever. And it's got to be clever. It's not hard to make a bad palindrome. People or computers can do that. That doesn't quite make sense, and you throw it together.
Well, so you had 3 requirements and 75 minutes. And like what one of the requirements I kind of read a little bit on it.
Yeah.
Was it has to be a current event within the
one was on a person or event in the last 12 months.
Okay.
One was about the American Crossword Puzzle Tournament. This was part of the American Crossword Puzzle Tournament. But the one that grabbed most people's attention was you had to have an X and a Z in the palindrome. But I mean, the main thing was just to have something you couldn't predict so that people were writing them on the spot. I don't think it will work in the future to do the current event or about the competition because people will see it coming and just have something canned.
So what comes with the world title? Did you get like a belt or something?
I got
like
$500.
That's
There's a
nice
trophy which kind of looked like one of those boxer belts. It's kind of gold and had big lumpy things on it. And I could get a picture for that if you edit stuff in. I don't know if that fits your aesthetic. Okay, all right.
So
I should have brought a picture and then I could just hold it in.
You gotta say what you want and don't say what you don't want to say.
Okay.
That's hard for people to do because people...
Oh, I'm good with that. I'm just thinking of the visuals. Look at those, what do you call it, topiary? That's a really unusual topiary. It's like a...
Let's walk by it.
Yeah, let's walk by it. It's kind
of... You're gonna have to mind your camera angle because people can't, like...
That's true. I'll have to, like, cheat around.
Well, they're looking at the sky.
I just walk backwards?
The way that you're holding the camera.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're looking at the sky.
I'm getting, I hate to say limp, but you guys see that topiary? It's kind of like an organic, curvy topiary, like a bundled
really cool.
rug or something.
And then these things come out of there.
Yeah.
Portland's pretty awesome. Well,
yeah. Anyway.
We're fine.
You have to work backwards appropriately enough to have people see things here.
This isn't an exit.
Oh, we're at a dead end? Okay, good. Well, you guys get another chance to check out this weird topiary.
So what is a palindrome exactly?
A word or sentence that's the same backwards and forwards.
Okay.
So, and you know what? I was just noticing you and Modi are like palindrome factories.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like...
How was that?
Well, Modi, for example, you could do like Modi hid home. You have an E left over at the beginning, but you know, there's a lot of words end in E you could pop in. So like, tune, Modi hid home, nut, you know, or...
Oh, I see.
Or pace, Modi hid home, cap. Home, comma, cap. A home and a cap. You know, that kind of thing. Drew Anderson, Drew is like, you know, Drew, snap answer. Then you got a D left over. So you could go, no, Drew, snap answer, Dawn. You know, I mean, it's just right there in front of you. It's
Whoa,
like,
yeah,
it's like a knife through butter.
It was
Everything.
so obvious to me. I don't
Anderson,
know
you know,
I don't know why
Anderson, a clove volcanoes, red.
how do you practice? How do you get in that mindset to like think of palindromes? And also, like, you know, when you play chess for like hours on end.
Well, I don't, but yeah, I
okay.
can imagine. Yeah.
But you start to see
Patterns.
the chessboard everywhere you go. You know?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it becomes a curse. Like you see a sign. I'm seeing signs, which of course the camera can't see. But you know, you see a stop sign and it's pots. That's rookie level. But you know,
Oh, yeah. But
it is hard
good
not to.
start.
You tend to scan things. You're just looking for raw material.
How do you think?
Looking
How
for
do
nuggets.
palindromes help you in your everyday life? Really?
Well, of course, chicks love palindromes. You know, you got to fight them off with a stick if you're known as a word geek.
Yeah. Like girls like Scrabble. You ever play Scrabble?
Yeah,
You
sure.
ever
I
played
love Scrabble.
Palindrome Scrabble.
Palindrome, I have not. I
It's-
think that would be very
It's
difficult.
the same as Scrabble, but your words have to be palindromes.
Yeah, I actually found a board game years ago that is a palindromic kind of like that. Except you have these little tiles. It's like little dominoes with palindromic words on them, and you had to play them. It didn't actually work very well,
Yeah,
but
it sounds
was
really
like a
annoying.
1950s
It sounds
vintage.
really hard.
Well, it's the kind of game that'd be fun to play once, and then you know all the answers. There just aren't
Yeah.
that many palindromic words.
I guess that makes sense. But
Yeah.
I mean, they keep coming up, but you
But it
have
was
to-
great for an issue of my zine, you know, because it's got all
Yeah.
these retro graphics. And,
What else? That's, so
Yeah.
so how do you practice for this stuff?
well, you know, it's this thing I've been doing for years. It's kind of, you know, I'm a writer. I write different kinds of stuff. This is the part I'm best at, I guess. It's just the focus, you know. It's kind of it's a lens to explore the language with. So over the years, I've been working on different palindromes. To finish it, you start exploring like, okay, the word if is a great word to have in your palindrome. Well, if you want to have words with if in it, let's go to the dictionary and start with fi, and everything that
Yeah.
starts with fi.
Fine.
Yeah, or fixes.
Fixes.
Sex if backwards.
Yeah.
That actually figured into my winning palindrome.
Because it had an X and stuff.
And I keep
Sex
notes.
if.
Yeah, I keep notes
Okay.
on this stuff.
Well, what
You
if,
know, so generally I've been basically building a little dictionary
other than the
of all the
Other than-
cool finds I make, and then
Yeah.
I have that for future use.
that makes sense. Other than the palindromes, other than that,
You want to go down this way?
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, all right.
Here,
Cut right
I
in
can
front of
hold
my
that.
house,
I can hold
actually.
the camera.
All right. I'm not doing a good job, am
No,
I? Fair enough.
I mean
Not
you're,
my specialty.
you're doing okay.
But yeah, you're the pro.
I just had to.
I'll stick to the palindromes. You can do the camera work.
What other word games do you regularly play? I think.
Oh, well, you know, I'm kind of a specialist. I've never got into anagrams that much. Computers have kind of killed anagrams because you get these computer programs and websites that just, you put in any letters and it will tell you every possible
Is there-
anagram that's a real word, so
is
that's
there a-
no fun.
Is there a way to play to use palindromes on a visual level where instead of using words, you're using images?
Yeah, there's all sorts of variations on that. Some people do, you know, drawings. Like the logo for my magazine is the "Push Me, Pull You" from Dr. Dolittle.
Oh,
Do you
okay.
remember that? It's like sort of looks like an antelope, but it's got two legs and two heads
I
facing
think
in opposite directions.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that. I mean, you could obviously make anything a symmetrical drawing, which I find kind of compelling, but at a certain point, it's not that hard.
Now, what about
know?
what about in other languages and stuff? I'm sure that there's
Yeah.
palindromes in other languages.
Yeah, actually, I married a Latina, and I was hanging out with her parents when I was back in New York. We started writing some Spanish palindromes. It's a little tricky if you don't know the language. Because anybody can pick up a dictionary and find words, which I was doing.
Yeah.
And writing things like sobornos son robos, which means bribes are robberies,
Oh,
which I think
nice.
has the additional advantage of being true in a metaphorical sense. But they were cluing me in that in Spanish you can't drop the article the way we do in English. You can't just say bribes are robberies, you have to say the bribes are robberies. Los sobornos son robos. However, they also clued me in that the reverse of los and los are common nicknames. Sol y sol. So if maybe someday I'll write a book with about a Spanish couple, you know, Soledad and Salvador. So sol y
So you can
sol,
work it.
you know, and just I'm talking to them in every palindrome.
What of
Los sobornos son robos, sol.
so what's your that would be yeah, that's pretty funny. You should probably learn that language more, huh?
Well, you know, I went to kindergarten in Mexico when I was 5. I spoke fluent Spanish. But then all the kids teased me when I came home and I kind of, you know, dropped it. And how much does a 5-year-old speak anyway?
Depends on what they have to say, really.
Yeah. Oh, I was a mouthy little kid. I'm sure I had a lot to say.
I bet you were.
Can I tell you a story about that? It's kind of embarrassing, but cultural imperialism history of mine. So I'm 5, and I'm in Mexico, and they're totally cool. Mexicans culturally are so cool towards kids. And so they let me be in their little folkloric dance, even though it's like a Mexican traditional folk dance or whatever. At, you know, Jardín de los Niños Cristobal Colón in La Paz in Baja.
Okay.
And so, so I'm doing this dance, and we're actually performing in front of the parents, and in the middle of the dance, I stop everybody and go, "No, you're doing it wrong!"
Oh no.
Here's how to do it. They're going, "God damn Americans."
Then you were kicked out of Mexico.
No, but to me it was, no, they all laughed politely, but I'm sure grimacing a little bit. But it was my perfect example of how you can be right and wrong at the same time. Because I probably was right. They probably were doing it wrong, but you know, they're 5-year-old kids. Yeah. Lighten up, gringo.
So what's next? Where do you take this world?
Well, I think I'm going to quit my job and go on the professional money prize-winning circuit.
There is a, you know, like, you know, when you fill out those surveys in high school of what you're going to be when you
that's
get
right,
older,
yeah.
you, like,
Right.
it's kind of sad.
Your aptitude
if
test,
you become
right?
a palindromist or
Right,
whatever.
exactly. Full-time palindromist.
Which
It's a
is
little
not.
lean.
It's not someone that marries, that gives money to their ex, to
That's
one
right.
of their many wives.
That's
is
right. But it sounds kind of like that. That's why I like palindromist instead of palindromist. Will Shortz had a talk about that. He was commenting that, like, he did a little survey and 9 out of 10 people say palindromist. I'm like the only one who says palindromist. But then he looked it up in the Oxford English Dictionary and it actually is palindromist. So
You're like, take that.
yeah, Will. Who knows words now, Mr. Will Shortz?
What's that guy like? You hang
He's
out with
totally
him?
cool. He's so
He
smart.
seems pretty smart.
I have never seen him not smile.
Oh, really?
He is like the most cheerful person. But you know,
Do you
he does
think that-
puzzles for a living. He created his own major in college. He was it Iowa or someplace like that, had a make your own major. So he invented a major in enigmatology, which is the study of puzzles. Created it and then aced it. Got the degree, and now for full time he's a New York Times crossword puzzle guy and does these tournaments. I mean,
you
what's
think
not to be happy about?
Do you think there's attributes of people that are successful in what they go about? Like, you went to Harvard and stuff,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
like, do you think that there's successful?
Probably the lowest paid member of my class.
You can always go over to your
But perhaps the
alumni's
only world
house.
champion. Or perhaps not. Yeah. That's a scary thing. There might be other world champions in there.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
But all my friends I knew went into investment banking and probably made more in a year than I have in my career to date.
You know, I'm going to stop the video
Yeah,
and then we'll
yeah.
pick up where
Sure.
we left off.
Sure.